Welcome back, everyone. It is Eric from Rare Candy, and today we're going to be trying out the deck that just won't seem to go away. We have Lugia VSTAR here for the brand new post-rotation format, and somehow, even after losing like all of the cards that made Lugia so good pre-rotation, the deck not only is surviving, but it's debatably even thriving in this brand new post-rotation format. So Lugia VSTAR still as good as ever for that Summoning Star ability. We can get two colorless Pokemon that don't have a rule box from our discard pile and put them directly onto our bench. So not a whole lot has really changed there. We're still using this to get out Arceus to accelerate special energies with this Primal Turbo ability. But sort of the big change that's been made to this deck post-rotation, as you can kind of see over here, is that we are now pairing Lugia with the various single strike Pokemon as some different heavy hitters and sort of, counters to different popular Pokemon that are currently in this upcoming, or I should say current now, post-rotation format. So that's going to be sort of the core idea of what we have going on today. And before we get any deeper in this deck list and get in some games, if you guys need any cards to complete this Lugia deck for yourself, you can pick up some PTCG Live code cards from our friends at PTCGOstore.com. Make sure to use coupon code RARECANDY at checkout for a discount. And Rare Candy's patrons not only had early access to this deck list, but also have their own exclusive discount code for even bigger savings. Links to those will be down below in the description. But getting back into our deck list here, like I mentioned, the single strike Pokemon are now kind of the star of the show here, most notably probably being Tyranitar V, since this is our heaviest hitting Pokemon of the deck, has that single strike crush attack that does 240, but we do mill the top 4 cards of our deck, so a little bit of a pain, but most of the time it's going to be worth it because we can use this to knock out something like a Mew VMAX or a Gardevoir EX or a Mewtwo V Union, just as a few examples. But also the first attack here is, I think, actually a little bit underrated too. Craglanch to 60, and we mill the top 2 cards of our opponent's deck. So this is really good if we can get this Tyranitar set up fairly quickly against a deck like Lost Box or like Gardevoir, where they have sort of these low HP basics like Comfies or Ralts. We can actually use this to put on some early game pressure, take cheap KOs, and also discard some cards from their deck in the process. And the other dark attacker we have in the deck is going to be the single strike Yveltal. It kind of fills a similar role as the Tyranitar, but it only gives up a single prize in the process. And our only other attacker is going to be the Stonjourner. This is going to allow us to hit things like Miraidon for weakness, but the other weird Pokemon probably sticking out like a sore thumb here is actually the Radiant Serena. So we're not attacking with this card, we're just using it for this ability that lets us heal 20 from each of our Pokemon. So we are mainly playing this to deal with different Lost Box decks because this actually does throw off some of their Sableye math or their Greninja math. So one of the biggest changes for Lugia is in its Pokemon search options. Losing Evolution Incense and Quick Ball definitely is unfortunate. So the next best thing we have here is debatably capturing Aroma. We flip a coin. If heads, we get an evolution Pokemon, but if tails, we get a basic Pokemon. So the coin flip is a little bit annoying, but it doesn't stop there. We're also playing 2 copies of Mesa Goza as one of our stadium cards. So we flip a coin. If heads, we search our deck for any Pokemon and put it directly into our hand. Now, unfortunately, our opponent can make use of this stadium from time to time, but one of the perks of being a Lugia deck is that we can actually use this to get a Pokemon and then use Lugia's attack to discard it from play once we no longer need it. We are also choosing to play the Professor Burnett just because it is a little bit more difficult to get Arceus in the discard in this new format. And I think the most notable other trainer card we have is just the 3 copies of Urn of Vitality, which lets us get 2 single strike energies and put them back into our deck, which is kind of cool. Lugia has never had any special energy recovery up until this point. And speaking of single strike energies, of course, we have 4 of these to power up our Pokemon, and they do increase their damage by 20. But the big downside, of course, is that they can't be attached to anything outside of single strike Pokemon. And probably our last card of interest is going to be the regenerative energy, which is like surprisingly good, I've actually found. So when it's attached to a Pokemon V and it evolves, you heal 100 from that Pokemon. So if we're going against a deck like Lost Box as an example, I know I keep referencing that one over and over, but if we're playing against that and Cramorant hits our Lugia, if we have one of these and then we evolve into our V-Star, we actually heal off 100 and just helps us a little bit more in some of these matchups where Pokemon are two-shotting our Lugias, which is pretty cool. So that's going to be the list we are trying out today, guys. Just remember to smack that like button to feed that YouTube algorithm. And let's jump in some games and see how Lugia is going to do in this new post-rotation format. Okay, we got a bit of a mirror match here. Alrighty, so I actually think we just don't play anything from this hand because we don't want to give our opponent Mesa Goza. And yeah, we'll just end turn. So next turn, hopefully we can get double heads. I know that's asking for a lot, but if we can get just at least one heads here, I think that'll feel pretty good. That'll help us get closer to Arceus and discard. So kind of hoping our opponent will put down Mesagoza for us. Okay, there's going to be the Burnett. All right. Do they have another Lugia? Ooh, okay. They do not. So if we actually can get double Arceus, I think we probably just win this one. All right, so capturing Aroma before we do anything else here. Heads, okay. All right, we cooking. We cooking over here. Sky Chicken number 1. So Mesagoza, if we get another heads flip, I mean, that feels like a wrap at this point, guys. And it is going to be a tails. So a bit unfortunate we did have to put that in play for them. But that being said, if we still hit like an Ultra Ball plus Arceus, we're still feeling kind of okay. So we'll do this. Oh, what am I talking about, guys? We can actually just Irida here. Hopefully we can just Irida here or not Irida, but Burnett. Sorry, so used to pre-rotation Lugia. No, it's not in deck. Are you kidding me? Okay. I guess we're going all in on this play though, guys. We'll just grab a research here. We'll get this down, and we're going all in to hit this one Arceus. Okay. We need a heads. Come on, deck. Don't fail us here. Well, let's go. Let's go. Man, this deck gives me so much anxiety just because you're so reliant on coin flips, which feels pretty awful. So we'll get rid of this and probably get rid of this other VSTAR. Okay. So I guess we'll just grab maybe a Lumineon. So Summoning Star. And we can actually even get rid of the Mesagoza as well. So yeah, there's the concessions. After you knock out Lone Lugia, there's not a whole lot for them to really do at that point. Okay, so I think we just start with the Stonjourner. Don't give up a single prize, so we can sort of wall behind this for the moment. Okay, we see Roxanne, we see Penny, we see Path, okay. I'm curious what this is. It could be Mew. Kind of looks like Mew, other than the Penny. So I guess we'll find out. Okay, but it is going to be Mew. So let's just go ahead and Mesagoza. We definitely want a heads flip over here. Broken coin flip. All right, so let's see what we got in deck. So we do have both of our Dark Attackers. That's definitely going to be big. The next question is, what about our single strike energies? Those are going to be sort of the fuel of this deck. Let's see. Okay, as far as I can tell, I think we're looking okay. Nothing too crazy prized. Oh, I should have checked for Pumpkaboo. That actually could be a relevant card. So maybe we'll just attach this for the moment. And then pass over to our opponent. So they're going to go for Mesagoza. Let's see. They do get ahead, so that is unfortunately the downside of Mesagoza. You do have turns like this, but honestly, guys, Mew has so much Pokemon search. I'm not too stressed about it. I would rather them use it this turn than next turn. Like, I don't mind them using it to find their basics because they have so much basic search as is. There's a Hisuian Heavy Ball. Okay. So we got a Penny and a Hisuian Heavy Ball, which are both weird inclusions from Mew. I'm curious what the Penny is for. Huh. Okay, and a pass over to us. So do we go for Mesagoza now or after? I feel like we do it now, because if we get an Arceus, it's easier to get Arceus in discard. And that's sort of the big thing we want here. Cool. I'm actually debating if we just Serena this turn. I know that feels bad. I think we just need to dig. I really don't want to get rid of this collapsed, but it's going to have to be okay. Okay. Well, this was almost a solid hand to work with. So we'll do this. Like, we could Capturing Aroma, but there's no point as of right now. I think we're actually just going to attach the V-Guard just to make it harder for our opponent to KO Lugia. Like, we could Aroma and try to get another Lugia down, but if we get down the V-Guard, I feel like we have decent chances of staying alive. Our opponent would need 4 damage modifiers here and a boss, so I just like our bench space too much. I really just don't want a second Lugia down. We're just going to end turn. Like, we could get the one Arceus, but it's just not worth it against Mew. Come on, Stadium. What are you doing to me? What are you doing to me? How can you're giving me tails and giving them heads? Okay. This is the risk you take with it, though. So we just don't want to get judged path. That's the big thing. Okay, so I think we just have to sack Tyranitar here. As much as I don't want to, I think it's kind of what we have to do here. Okay, there's Belt. So they still need... Okay, there's 4 Seal Stone. They're already 1 tablet down, so I think there's a good chance we actually survive, or that our Lugia actually survives here. So they're going to need I think one more damage modifier here to pull this off. Okay, there's the path. We kind of saw that come in. Please don't judge us. That would be pretty sweet if you didn't. Okay, there's the tablet. And just the knockout on T-Tar. Okay, that's fine though. So we can still win this way. Okay, we got the Bacon Bird. We'll Capturing Aroma before we do anything else here. Okay. I guess we just go for the Lumineon. So we'll Mesagoza. Just trying to think how we actually want to approach this. Could just go for the Burnett instead of like a draw supporter. That way, after we get judged or Roxanne or something like that, we'll have higher odds of hitting a draw supporter. Actually doesn't seem too bad to me. Okay. So let's toss away our Archeops over here. And we will start doing Lugia stuff. Okay, so this turn we're definitely going to go in with the Yveltal. It might force our opponent into like a 7 prize game, because they basically have to deal with it. Otherwise, they just kind of lose. And they can't basically take a turn off to knock out Lumineon or something. Oh, we actually could attach a gift energy to this thing too. So in case they do Roxanne us, we're going to be kind of Roxanne proof at that point. Oh, and I guess we'll go for the Mesagoza as well. Forgot about that. Okay, heads. I don't think that matters too much, but you know, sure, we'll just go for the Lumineon here. Okay, so Primal Turbo. We definitely need to hit Earn on this next turn, though. So here we Primal Turbo. And we get Single Strike Energy and a Gift Energy. So this seems pretty much perfect here. And we'll go for Single Strike Wings, 340. Taking out poor little Mew VMAX here. And let's see what we get. We do have a Single Strike Energy prized. Unfortunately, we don't get one. Good news is, we do hit plenty of ways at drawing cards. So if we do get Roxanne or Judged or something like that, we do have, between that and the Gift Energy, we have high likelihood of hitting what we'll need. So as long as we can cycle our Single Strike Energies back into our deck, I feel like we've got this one kind of wrapped up in a good spot. But they're playing the Dreepy. Are you kidding me, bro? Okay, so we literally just lose if they boss us at any point here. Ugh. Oh my god. The Dreepy. Yep, there's boss. So if you guys aren't familiar with the Dreepy, it has the Infestation attack. So during your opponent's next turn, the defending Pokemon can't retreat. And with Mew attacking with DTE, they're doing zeros, and they're basically just going to try to deck us at this point. But honestly, I don't even think they're going to come out on top in that regard unless they play Palpad and Schlien. That is how they would pull this off. We could even just start bossing and try to force them to have additional energies and stuff to get out of this. And we'll just pass to our opponent. So this is one of the issues of not having Aurora energy in the format, because if this was pre-rotation, we could actually just use Aqua Return to attack and get it out of the active spot. But unfortunately, that's not quite the spot that we're in here. So if they're going to try to go for the deck out strat against us, we're going to try to do that against them because they actually have fewer cards left. And we still have both of our judges. And if they have a Rock Sandus, that actually puts cards back into our deck as well. So I think the play for them now is, I mean, assuming if they have a way to prevent themselves from ever decking out. So we're just going to keep going for the stall game against them. Oh, and they do have the Pidgeot. Okay. Oh man, this is annoying. I feel like if this was just like a normal Mew list, we probably win this one. And they've only got rid of one energy. They have the Pidgeot to where they can't. This feels bad. I literally feel like that's checkmate, guys. I don't know how we win. You know what? We're going to give it to him. I don't feel like draw passing for the off chance that we might be able to pull this one off, but that sucks. So yeah, the Dreepy, it got us there, but if that was like a normal Mew deck, I feel like we would have been in a really good spot for that one, for what it's worth. Okay, but we see a Bidoof. That makes me think this might be an Arceus deck. That's usually the most common deck that plays Bidoof. Okay, this is going to be Arceus, so I'm assuming this is going to be Arctina. That's a safe assumption. Now, definitely curious if they're playing the Dunsparce. That would be, that would be a very deciding factor in, how this ends up going. So I think what we're going to do here, do this, we'll Nest Ball. I don't think they're actually going to be able to knock us out with Arceus. So we actually maybe should have saved the Nest Ball till next turn, if I'm being honest. So let's actually take a peek what we got in here. So we could research, but more than likely our opponent is going to try to path us this turn. So I think what we just do is we Burnett, get rid of 2 Archeops, and then we're just going to read the wind, getting rid of this other Archeops, and save this Collapsed for in case of a path coming down here. Okay, we got the Aroma too, so if we get a Heads Flip, that's a V-Star guaranteed. So kind of hoping we don't lose this hand. It's a pretty decent one. Okay, there's going to be the Giratina V and a Research. So we do get to keep this hand, and they are going to get rid of the Judge and a Palpad. So I'm assuming we will see a switch path. I'm assuming that's like their ideal combination of cards they want here. Yep, seems good. Yep, there's the path along with it, right on schedule, unfortunately. But luckily for us, though, we actually have a Collapsed ready to go. So we can bump this thing. Would be better if this was a Mesagoza right now, though, just because we still need some Pokemon to get up and running. But let's see what we can make happen here. Okay, so capturing Aroma. It is going to be a Tails, but we can at least grab our Stonjourner and start playing for that. Like, I'm tempted to research away our Collapsed, and try to hit a Mesagoza, but that seems like excessively greedy. So we'll just go for the Stonjourner. Get down the Collapsed. And from there, just research. Seems pretty good. So let's hit a V-Star. And we do. We have an Ultra Ball. So we're feeling pretty good. Do this and this. Yes. Okay, so let's see. What do we actually do here, though? I was going to say we could actually use regenerative energy to heal off this active, but I think we evolved this one either way. And we always have the option to evolve this one later. So let's just do this. Go for our Primal Turbo. Primal Turbo number 2. We could get down a gift energy on this thing. I don't hate that. I might actually get down a V-Guard and a... So if they knock us out with... I'm just trying to think what we actually want to attack with next turn. We'll just do this. And yeah, we'll go for the Giga Hammer, taking the KO over here. So we want Tyranitar V. That's like the big card we really want to see on this next turn here. Okay, there's Tina V-Star. So are they going to boss up something? Okay, there's going to be the V-Guard and a Judge. Okay, that's cool. I actually really don't mind them just knocking us out with the Tina because they have to burn 2 energies to do so just to get 1 prize. Okay, we have Aroma and Mesa Goza. So we have 2 shots here at getting our Tyranitar. But we did just lose our single strike energy, so losing those admittedly does feel kind of bad. But honestly, if we get a boss, if we can top deck boss, I honestly wouldn't mind even just bossing Arceus, and then we just have to knock out a Tina to eventually win this one. So I think that's actually what we're going to go for, guys. If we can get a Mesa Goza off, or probably a Capturing Aroma would be the better card for this. I think that's ideally what we want. So I'll promote Lugia. So Capturing Aroma before we do anything else here. Unfortunately, that was a head, so I'm kind of wishing we would have played the Mesa Goza. So I think that's still our play though, guys. So Mesa Goza, let's see what we can get. We need a heads flip here. Literally, if we got tails for the Aroma, things would have been good. Or if we got heads for the Mesa Goza, like we literally got like just like the inverse of what we needed. So I think we'll do this. I don't know if that matters, but we're gonna do it. And we're just gonna judge. So we need T-Tar plus Urns at this point. Okay. So we still might be able to get there, guys. So we definitely have to... Okay, we're gonna have to play our hand down to a 0-card hand, but it's definitely gonna be worth it and if we get this KO. So Ultra Ball. Grab our T-Tar. Oh wait, they have the V-Guard energy on them, don't they? Okay, we do have... For a second, I thought we prized one. So, not earn, but energy, 300, and then 320 here, knocking out this Tina. And I'm pretty sure they're not going to have a response to this. So we'll just go for the retreat, and hopefully we don't mill any colorless energies. That's like the only thing I'm kind of afraid of. Because that would open us up to eventually like, okay, losing double turbo feels kind of bad, but I just want to make sure we don't get like boss stalled to lose the game that way at this point. But we should still have double turbos left in deck to retreat if they do try anything like that. Yeah, I think we'll be okay, guys. So we just need one more KO, and that's going to be it. So unless our opponent has like... What would they possibly have that could push them up to the amount of damage they need? Like, there is a chance they use Raihan this turn to get an attack off, but they would still be 20 shy, even if they had Raihan plus DTE. So I think our opponent needs to just sack a single prizer here. That is definitely their play. So do you have a switch or DTE to retreat? But if you're using DTE to retreat, you're kind of in a losing spot either way at that point. So yeah, there's the victory screen, guys. So if Tyranitar knocks something big down and they don't have a response, it just kind of sweeps them, like in this game. Alrighty guys, that's going to do it today for Lugia VSTAR, and as you can see, the deck still is pretty good even after losing Aurora Energies, powerful colorless energies, and basically all of its good backup attackers that it had pre-rotation. The deck is still really strong against a number of different things that are currently in the format, and for that reason, this is actually a deck I am considering for the upcoming European International Championship, so we'll see if I wind up playing this or not, but it is one of my top picks going into the event. But with that being said, I hope you guys did enjoy today's content. If you did, be sure to leave a like on the video, and if you're feeling a little bit extra generous and want to take that support to the next level, you can also become a patron at patreon.com/rarecandytcg or pick up some merch at rarecandytcg.com. But as always, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.